Hi everyone, it's the Walrus Clown here. New year, new microphone, new countdown list. It's the top 12 Tom Kenny roles, everyone. But before that, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications. Anywho, Otter, roll the intro, please.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Here's what is probably going to be the most obscure character on our roles list today. The blue robot monkey from Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go, Gibson. He was the team's scientist, and was a by-the-books type. He piloted the left hand of the super robot when it had to break into smaller robots. I'll have to talk about this show in a later review if I can find footage, because no one talks about this show, and it really does deserve to be remembered. Anywho, moving on.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Here at number 11, we have Mumbo Jumbo from the original Teen Titans cartoon. He was the main villain for only one Raven-focused episode, but that's all he needed. He sucks them into a magic hat, turns them into animals, save for Beast Boy, who is stuck shape-shifting between random objects. That and the musical number in this episode is one of the show's most memorable. For my opinion on the Go cartoon, just click the card in the corner. And now it's time for our first voice actor fun fact. Tom Kenny's net worth is around $16 million.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Number 10 is Carl from Johnny Bravo. What can be said? He is Johnny Bravo's opposite in almost every way. Yet they work so well as a duo, a reoccurring theme that will show up a few times in this list.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Here at number 9 we have Raymundo from the early 2000s show Shaolin Showdown. The totally cool dude from Brazil. He was just that, the token borderline unlikable cool dude that we all liked anyway. And you totally shipped him with Kimiko. Don't bother lying. I've already had to have an eye transplant once after seeing the type of fan fiction this show's fanbase writes. Now for another voice actor fun fact. Obligatory live action roles montage. Ready, go!
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Here at number 8 we have Scoutmaster Lumpus from Camp Lazlo. A grumpy old curmudgeon who's been doing his job that he hates for way too long. He is a great big jerk, but that's why we like him. He speaks to that part of every working person who just wants to tell their boss that they can take this job and shove it and go back to bed.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Here at number 7 we have the mayor from the Powerpuff Girls, who was the stupid foil to Miss Bellum's big brain. The two bounced off each other perfectly, just as all duos made up of polar opposites should. With her gone and no longer playing the straight man to bounce off the mayor's weirdness, the shtick just doesn't work anymore, which is one of the many reasons the Powerpuff Girls reboot just didn't work. And now for another voice actor fun fact. SpongeBob is, by his own words, the only role he never had to audition for. He and SpongeBob's creator, Steve Hillenburg, both worked together on Rocko's Modern Life. And Hillenburg just didn't want anyone else to play the part.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Here at number 6 we have Dog from Cat Dog, who is the slob to Cat's neat freak, which is a popular opposites duo we have seen over and over and over again after it was popularized by the live action show The Odd Couple.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Here at number 5 we have Heifer from Rocko's Modern Life, the first full-time voice acting gig for Tom. Heifer from Rocko's Modern Life was literally a fat cow that was adopted and raised by wolves, and has no filter. He was somewhat of a moocher, but was well-meaning at heart. And now it's time for another voice actor fun fact. Tom Kenny and his good friend, retired stand-up comedian Bobcat Goldthwait, both graduated from Bishop Grimes.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Here at number 4 we have Scaramouche from Samurai Jack, who is by far the new standout villain introduced in the Samurai Jack continuation. Scaramouche was a smooth-talking jazz-themed robot assassin who was quite full of himself because of how high he was on Aku's favorite assassin list. That fight scene involving him where he uses a jazz clarinet to do music-based earthbending to fight the titular samurai was just awesome as all that in a bag of chips.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Number 3 is SpongeBob. If I'm being honest, and I don't intend to be anything but, I like the sponge, but I'm not in love with the sponge, like most are. So I split the difference and put him at number 3. And now it's time for our final voice actor fun fact. Before the project fell through, Tom was cast as the new voice of Popeye for the animated movie that fell through.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
Here at number 2, we have Eduardo from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, who fills the big, strong guy who looks intimidating but in reality is a complete weenie character archetype. Both in the main group of friends at the house, it works perfectly. The big guy who likes potatoes bounces off Blue's selfishness, Wilt's obnoxious politeness, and Coco's Pinkie Pie-esque randomness perfectly.
Stare into my nipples of the future!
If it wasn't going to be SpongeBob, then you all knew it was going to be the Ice King from Adventure Time. And personally, I think this is one of Tom Kenny's most poignant roles. While the writers could have just had him be a funny, bumbling joke villain, but instead chose to use the world's lore in conjunction with his pre-Ice King incarnation's emotional connection to Marceline the Vampire Queen, to have a poignant allegory for watching an older loved one slowly lose their mind to dementia, aka something that would have never been allowed to happen had Nickelodeon picked up the show. And that's that. Anywho, tune in for my next couple of reviews for my first attempt at reviewing video games as I go over Lost Kingdoms 1 and 2 for the GameCube. Here's hoping that this year will be better than the hellfire that was 2020. See you then, everyone!
Oh, who all needs to shut up and hit subscribe right now? All of you do. Who needs to shut up and turn on notifications on? All of you do. All of you do. All of you do. All of you do. And don't forget to watch another video.